clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens? The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis stone. It would whisper promises in his ear, offer him power for blood. But this time, Renato was sure he could master it. And so, Renato went ostrich hunting. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals? Who made all these ore chests anyway? Well, you could have quite a business doing that. I'll just have a dash, thought Renato. Already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
handy in a pinch. He needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak. How could you convince a firewall you're its friend? There had to be some way to use the Iblis stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people. The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted. Gone rather well, actually. What does the fox say? Asked one raven. Another one called back, "Oh, I'm dying!" And they both laughed hysterically. Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders. was an engraving. Maximum capacity, 130 people.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. I can make you mighty. Who said that? Give me blood. It was the stone, eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once,
And he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him.
why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "It's the core," said the stone anxiously.
But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was, he had a clever plan for dealing with it. The gem could give great power, but it was evil. But Renato had a plan. He would divide the stone into the power half and the evil half. He sought out the sage Calaveras.
Oh, you need a mirror of splitting.
Croaked Calaveras.
I can make one.
Calaveras set up various shiny things. And soon Renato was setting the stone down in the middle of Calaveras' lab. There was a flash, and now Renato was looking at himself. Except with a mustache, and a goatee and darker hair. There were two Iblis stones. One light, and one dark. Renato took the light one. He felt a rush of great power. Now I could defeat the Emperor. Wait a minute. Unfortunately, he couldn't think of any way to use it without hurting someone. That wouldn't be nice. "Give me that," said his evil-looking twin. And he drew his sword. He only got it halfway out of the scabbard when he fainted from the effort. Obviously, neither weak, evil Renato nor powerful, nice Renato was any threat to the Empire. After the Emperor's victory, they were exhibited in a museum until time ended, which was soon after. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away.
Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
Meat!
The ravens were already here. Caught in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he had come too late.
Can you guys actually tear each other apart? So I'm thinking name tags.
It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects. It was time for a little exploration. There had to be some way to use the Iblis stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people.
Over beer, right?
The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders. Building these platforms was so expensive, they'd run out of budget for guardrails. It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. I can make
Who said that? It was the stone. Eager. Thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once.
And he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him.
Why not capture the core of Skyripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. Not the core, said the stone anxiously.
But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was, he had a clever plan for dealing with it.
Why was he listening to a talking rock?
Ah, but the rock had a point. If the stone could truly turn him into a powerful warrior, he could defeat the Emperor with the very weapon the wicked old Toad had sought for himself.
To be a hero, you had to sacrifice old friends sometimes, especially when they've become enemies.
As he placed the impossibly black crystal in his gauntlet, Renato had a sudden vision. Charred fields covered in dead ravens below.
Wow. Okay, hello. Thank you for the heads up. For some reason, OBS decides to change my default mic every once in a while, and I'm really bad at noticing that.
A black sun.
Well, we made some bad decisions along the way, and we're going to continue doing making bad decisions.
Was it the future? It whispered. Take the power. He could feel the stone's hunger for souls, its thirst for blood. All right,
So how you doing?
This was going to be interesting.
Ow, too close.
They had to bury him in a bucket. Actually, several buckets.
Well, that actually gave me more health than I had to begin with.
There was a
Oh, good to
pleasant
hear.
breeze coming through that door. Had it been closed before?
More attack speed. That might be a gem to slot.
Who are you looking at? Oh, right. No one.
Not anymore. Yeah, overall the enemies here just really aren't that much of a challenge.
Zenobia was waiting for it.
Oh, waiting for me down here, are you?
She was alone, confident as always. Fire danced at the tips of her claws.
I take the evil
You
route,
ready to
so
surrender?
doing things
She
is
seemed
made
as cocksure
simpler
as he
for me.
felt. But she didn't know he had the stone. And I've missed you too, love. He chuckled.
She spotted the stone,
It's so standard.
bolted without another word. You couldn't go sticking jewels in your gauntlet just anywhere. What if you dropped one? and
10%
broke it?
attack speed.
Luckily, There was a bench right here.
Did I already not have 20% crit chance when it was level 2? Maybe not. Ooh, and I'm pretty sure the level 1 only gave me 3%, so that's an increase of 1% per level. Yeesh. I need some more treasure hunter.
Once, he'd found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
At this point, I'm pretty sure all I want is treasure.
Hey, I hear black is the new dead.
What did I miss?
This stone was
More to
incredibly
XP.
valuable.
Nice.
Renato could sense it.
Dear Zenobia,
Also, it
as you
still
read
had
this
price
letter, you
tag.
are locked in your chambers, ready to spend your last night before... Well, you know. I will not apologize. I know you are too proud to forgive me. I also know you won't resist reading through... I also know you won't resist reading through You Are a Cat, as much as I have tried to educate you like a proper toad. I swear to you, and you have to believe me, that I did not plan all this when I adopted you. You have always been my special little kitten. That is why I am writing this now, weeks in advance. I know I will not have the heart to do it the night of the sacrifice. If I think of you as my daughter, then, I may change my mind. You must think I am selfish, and yes, I am a selfish, sad little toad that is afraid to die. But what I am doing will ultimately serve the greater good. I want the power. I want it all, and so I will keep my subjects content. Peace for eternity. Even if you hate me now, you can still respect that. You have to. It is the only way I can forgive myself for doing this to you. I will miss you for eternity. Tomorrow, try not to make a scene. Everyone will be watching. Still with love, Father. Oh, that's a crock of shit. No D&D yesterday. We had a scheduling error, so that'll be happening next week. And this weekend, we are working on helping a friend move into their new house. So, no D&D on Saturday either. It's a busy week of moving and repairs and such, so probably gonna be pretty tired come Monday. Speaking of which, I also intend to spend some time with my mother on Monday to make up for not being able to get together with her on Mother's Day last week. There's a good chance there won't be a stream on Monday.
Zenobia's island were no match for Renato.
That frost
He
is good.
screamed as the stones sucked out their souls, and with each death, he felt stronger. Take the power, the stone told him. Finally, Renato caught up to her. He had never seen her scared before, At school, she'd been the determined, brave one. Now her eyes were wide, frightened. He didn't like seeing her this way.
Oh, well, better put her out of her misery then.
Whispered the stone. You cannot win your rebellion without it. Please. No, said Zenobia. Not that way. Oh, they had been so close.
No, you too, eh? I guess it's just the
Really
market's
feed
finally
her
good again,
soul to
or
his
something.
demonic gem. But if he spared
People are
her,
moving into new
he would not get the
places.
full power of the stone. Oh, how could he be the hero he wanted to be?
Feed her to the stone. The Iblis stone. It promised great power in exchange for the blood of Zenobia. Isn't it why he came here? Killing Zenobia would give him the power to take the fight to the enemy. Or, now that she was at his mercy, could Renato really kill her? They'd been close once in their youth. He could spare Zenobia, but he doubted she would just throw herself in his arms. Is this one gonna result in an instant death? Kinda feels like it. Okay, let's see what happened.
Hesitated. Zenobia was his greatest enemy. She was the Emperor's daughter and his greatest general.
Also, I guess we
And
love
the
her or
single
something.
person Renato least wanted to remove from this world, especially that way. She was holding her arms out before her, hands fluttering, fending him off with hopeless urgency. Nope, she was weaving a spell. He couldn't move.
And you're dead.
This thing is evil, she said. She slid the Iblis stone out of its slot in his gauntlet and slipped it into a bag. Maybe we can learn from it.
And now she's the
eyed him
evil
with a
one.
strange, wry, apologetic look. I missed you too. And before he could move again, she was gone. Learn from the Iblis stone? What did that mean? Would she take it to the palace or to the observatory on the Nexus? If she thought it was evil, she wouldn't want it in the palace.
And, after all, it was evil, wasn't it?
Maybe I can outrace her to the observatory, thought Renato. Cats
Well,
can
it
run
did
faster,
just bid you
but
to kill your
foxes can
childhood
run
friend, and
longer.
now you're questioning whether it's still really evil or not.
Renato felt a little sick. Ever since Zenobia had taken the stone from him, he'd felt an ache that wouldn't go away.
Oh
He
no,
missed
withdrawal.
it. He wanted it back.
Gotta get my evil juice.
He needed it back. Why hadn't he killed her when he had the chance? She was the enemy. He hadn't even seen her in 14 years. Why had he hesitated? You're a sucker for an empowered woman. Renato kicked himself. Don't make that mistake again. Renato hoped his mother wasn't watching.
Don't fall for a pretty face, son, and fuck up your life. Sorry, Ma. That away? Or this away? There's no one coming back to this one.
He was sort of yanking his own shape, wasn't he?
It's a birdsicle!
Nice. And more attack speed. Took a while to find it, but yeah, now we're just getting it in droves. At school, we learned the gospel of the Transcendent Emperor, the last divinity to pierce the skies. He would banish the evil old gods and grant us the gift of time. But could one man, divine as he may be, create something as intricate as time? I have my own theory. I believe that time is a symptom rather than a gift. I am convinced that on a cosmic scale, there's a pendulum motion between order and chaos. The Transcendent Emperor ended chaos and started the age we live in, an age of cause and effect, of fact and logic, the age of fire. Time is merely the tapestry upon which these laws manifest themselves. It is the foundation for order's companion, entropy. But in the age of chaos, when the old gods reign, perception carries more weight than facts. Emotions can shape the worlds, and time ceases to exist. The age of order is ending. I am merely helping the inevitable. Entropy has been broken. Fate has been breached. The end of time is coming, and I shall embrace it. Emperor Isengrim III's secret journal. Again, just like out in the middle of nowhere. We just need to keep better track of your journal, man. Why even have the door? Oh no.
Zenobia thought the stone was evil. Was it? Well, yes, but he still longed to have it back. He felt so good.
Now you've got that
carrying it,
revelation. It is indeed
and
evil.
yet, he'd felt unclean ever since he'd touched it. She confused him. She'd made him want to be a better fox, and then she'd abandoned him, never telling him she was the Emperor's daughter, never contacting him since. Well, who was she to tell him the stone was evil?
Even so far away, its influence is felt.
And while he was trying to recover the stone Zenobia had taken from him, the Imperial fleet was tightening its grip. He might fail to save the rebellion, and it would all be her fault. Renato felt a burst of outrage. Not
I actually
only
have
had
enough
she
window
stolen
since I'm
his
just
gem,
still
he
short on
also
ore.
stolen
That is a
his
surprise.
silence. Sure, they were neutral, but they had helped him discover what the Emperor was up to. It was supposed to be helping me, Renato thought. So unfair.
20% attack speed, 20% crit. Why not both? I'm sure I can stand taking the extra damage. Probably. Oh, there's something over there.
Imagine getting a horse up in one of these things. It will be cursing a blue streak.
Ow! Dash, please, dash. Damn. God.
Stay away from the other guy's sword, you know?
Well, that's nice. Just buy you donuts, or somebody there make the donuts? Or are they just like leftovers from the morning meeting?
The scientist's toes were pointing arcane instruments at the stone and looking at it through prisms and reflections. Mine, said Renato as he took back the stone. We need it for science, croaked the toads. So he killed them. He felt better immediately. Smarter, too. I thought you would never come for me.
My hero, says the evil stone.
A far speaker toad croaked, and something like Zenobia's voice.
Leonardo, leave the stone with the toads. It will swallow your soul. You'll kill everyone you love.
That did seem vaguely familiar, but Renato had an army to lead.
Ah.
An empire to bring down.
It couldn't hurt to listen to Zenobia, at least. Zenobia, the Emperor's adopted daughter and greatest general, gave Renato a dire warning. The stone would swallow his soul. Maybe she was right, and he was dealing with a powers far beyond his grasp. They were enemies, but she had never lied to him. Maybe he should throw the evilest stone away. Or kill this far speaker and go lead the rebels to victory. It had to be a lie. Of course she would say that. She had to stop him from leading the rebels to victory. Yes, he should head for the rebel base and win this war. So I'm trying to seek out the ones that'll give me an instant lost now, because I have to repeat the level anyway.
I know you can fight this thing.
Zenobia continued in the far speaker's croak.
You let me live. You know how evil it is.
What if they keep bringing donuts in?
It will destroy everything you love.
He had tried to convince himself that this time...
What's gonna happen? I'm gonna get fat? It's all gonna go to your thighs?
But he could feel his will becoming brittle.
Because
She
of
was
will.
right. He would get rid of it. Right? Now. Or now. He didn't really want to. I know. I'll go to the mountains, Renato thought. I'll find the strength to do it in the peace and quiet there. As the Farfarer landed at the foot of the mountains, Renato was surprised to find Lapino there. What are you doing here? Oh,
Yeah, fucking good timing,
I was stowed
Lapino.
away on an Imperial courier ship, dressed up as a combat nurse carrying a general's beak transplant. This is not a great time, said Renato, who was pretty sure he did not, in fact, believe Lapino's story. That's when you need your friends, said Lapino.
Well, we're on the same side, and he has no reason to betray me this time,
Grimly
probably.
set out on the path.
So it's gonna be my job to betray him, right?
Once you try it, you're hooked.
exactly enough to upgrade a sword. Oh, yeah.
This thing really needed a roof.
Ah, he just fell off the stage. With a max attack speed
Rado
gem
told his friend how he had slaughtered
and
the toads.
the purple sword, I wonder how
Nearly
fast I could
slain
attack.
Zenobia. A terrible burden, this Iblastone, sympathized the rabbit.
Yeah, but I need it. For the rebellion.
Do you now? You know, you were a pretty fine fighter before you were wielding a demonic decoration. Oddly, the sword wasn't whispering at him to kill the Pinot. Up ahead in the mountains, there was a peaceful spot.
Oh, I'm gonna do that all by
If he could rid
myself, I'm
himself of
sure.
his burden anywhere, it was there.
Or it has no reason to whisper because it is now in control. It assumed directive.
Hey, wanna hook up?
Ooh, came a little late there, Buffer. Yeah, no one to support.
Now I don't have anyone to talk to.
Knockdown for immediate kill is pretty strong. Oh no, there was health there. I'll probably be fine.
Think of all the artisans he was creating employment for. Truly, he was a job creator.
Keep grabbing the power cable. Fine, I won't use it. I can't reach it.
Give me a lever, said Archimedes, and I shall open a gate. Renato thought it would make a difference, snatching the Iblastone before the Emperor could get it. Renato would destroy him. Zenobia and Lupino, they were both trying to save him. Peace. That was what he needed.
Can I actually get anything good from drops like this? I can't remember if ore will rest in those. More stamina. So much dashing.
So much for peace and quiet. There was Lupino. Again. You're stronger than some dumb rock, Lupino said. Let's just bury it. And no one will ever find it again. Renato could feel the spirit energy of all those dead ravens inside him, pecking away. The rabbit was right. Even if the rabbit was a traitor, he was still right. He tore the Iblis stone from his gauntlet and threw it into the hole Lupino had dug. The stone was silent. Probably sulking. Now whoop those Imperials, said Lupino. Aren't you coming? Ah, no, I can't come with you. It's my old injury, you know. Recently, it's been acting up terrible. I'd be no use to you at all. So
Is that
Renato
right?
boarded the Farfarer alone. Renato felt lonely.
I got a feeling we don't
aboard
need the stone
Farfarer.
anymore.
How could his old friend Lupino, miraculously escaped from the Empire, leave him to face the final battle alone? Well, he'd abandoned Lupino before, hadn't he? It was only fair.
Oh
And, of course,
no,
he felt
don't give
lonely.
up, homie.
He'd given up the Iblis stone and all the souls he fed it. Of course he felt alone, but he had done the right thing. It had been hard to do, but there was no better feeling than that. Zenobia would be so proud of him. The battle, alas, was not going
Have
well.
I been here? This looks
He
different.
no longer had the stone, and he'd never gotten the core. Lupino wasn't with him, and he was up against Zenobia, out there somewhere, maneuvering the Emperor's forces.
Freeze enemies.
The rebels had been outnumbered from the start.
Also freezes
He
all
still
surrounding
had that
enemies.
aching
Speed
longing
further
for the stone.
increases.
But that is what it means to be a hero. He would fight his way to Zenobia. He would show her
Enemy
what
freeze.
he was capable of. Just him, with no diabolic accoutrements.
That does look pretty
He
good.
would win, no matter the odds.
And my gems are probably fine. So, Emperor, are you going to be an actual boss fight, or am I just going to fight waves of minions again?
Had that door been opened before?
The way you say that makes me think, yeah. I'll do it anyway. Can't go that way.
This one looked familiar. Had he lost
More
this
shield
one in the
breaker.
card game?
Alright.
Welcome back, he thought.
Hello, ship? There you are.
Yes, that was it. Pirouette, slash, parry, dodge.
Renato had never done such good work in a fight. He wished the poets were along to sing of his exploits for his old age. Maybe he wouldn't have to kill Zenobia. Maybe he could defeat her and take her prisoner. Then he could turn the tide against the Emperor. If she wasn't crowned princess, once this was all over, she'd have more time for him, right? You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, I guess my slowdown would only work if I stopped attacking. Okay, that was less important of an upgrade than I thought it was. Almost there.
Really hot lady faces with pictures and addresses and everything.
Yeah, this low quality is making it almost impossible to see fire and fireballs. Fireballs are only ever so slightly easier to see. Alright, here we come.
By some miracle, Renato fought his way to the Emperor's ship. He was exhausted, bleeding, but he'd found the strength to reject the stone. Zenobia came out of the ship. "Renato!" she shouted, and then she fell down and died. Lapino was behind her, wielding a sword that seemed to suck all the light out of the sun. "You idiot! You threw the stone away!" cried Lapino. "You said it was evil." "It hates sanctimonious prigs like you," laughed Lapino. "We're having a grand old time." Renato turned and ran. But no matter where he ran, Lapino jumped in front of him until Renato was cornered. That boy could hop. "You wouldn't do this to an old friend, would you?" cried Renato. "You mean this?" said Lapino as he slid the sword into Renato's guts. "Damn it! Again?"
Really can't trust that
He
Lapino.
hadn't learned anything new this time. He'd done the same thing twice, yet expected a different outcome.
Yeah, I got a different outcome. I was ending, like, 2 or something. Truthfinder will help you find the paths that lead to truths you have not found yet. Look for this icon when making choices in the book. This option can be toggled in the game options menu. Alright. Still haven't discovered the secret of the Sky Ripper. I guess I should go back to that.
There would be a way to win. Renato could feel it. He'd have
Find
to
out what the
explore
final truth
choices
is.
he'd never made before he could figure it all out. And with that, the book's pages
Ooh,
fluttered
tired.
to the beginning once again. And he fell.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas.
Had to chase those
It was time to choose.
sleepy time sillies away.
The rebellion was
Another
in
drink.
trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base.
Before my buzz wears off.
They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact.
Alright, go get the
It could
Sky
corrupt its
Ripper,
user
and this
into a
time...
bloodthirsty monster.
What did I do with it last time that I
Find a way to
failed?
use it. To take its power
Oh,
without
right, Zenobia
surrendering
just
to
froze
its
everybody.
wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed
It would have
rescue.
worked, but she's
Of course.
basically a living artifact of a
Renato
weapon.
had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion.
Yet she couldn't
Could
stop
Renato
Lapino.
really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Oh, well. He is much more clever than Renardo is.
Every child
Sky
knew
Ripper
about
it
the
is.
Sky Ripper. As he set foot on the island, Bernardo couldn't help feeling a bit curious. Was Lapino still waiting to be rescued? No.
No.
He was probably drinking champagne with the ravens. Did ravens drink champagne? Did rabbits? Bernardo felt oddly thirsty, come to think of it. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper?
Renato never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd
It will,
have to devote
eventually.
himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
People had laughed at the government workbench placement program.
I might
But
want to
You could see the
put...
benefits everywhere.
If I'm just going for executions, then damage isn't actually as useful. Maybe I'll put energy on kill. Quick attack speed means I'll actually get my attacks out faster, and the sword energy recovery means I can use frost or something more often. Oh, did I go over there? Don't force me through. Okay, good. There isn't one over there. Where do you lead?
This chest contained blank passports from 15 countries. And something useful.
Meh. So they can't see me through walls, even if their eye beams pierce them.
Or I could go that way, he thought.
Data way. AoE Frost.
Renato was running out of choices. Zenobia's love brought him only sorrow. His best friend was his enemy. And the Iblis stone... He shuddered. Best not to think about it. All that was left was the Sky Ripper, a weapon powered by a god's eye. So be it, then.
The truth behind the Sky Ripper is shrouded in a thick fog. The most believable tale is that the Transcendent Emperor has used the Sky Ripper to banish Iblis. Then the TE buried the weapon and vanished. Was it a self-imposed exile to rid the world of its last divine presence? Or was it a price to pay for using such a tremendous power? Could the Skyripper and Iblis have a deeper connection than just weapon and its victim? My rituals will summon the Iblis Stone. Perhaps I should worry that they will also cause the Skyripper to resurface. If that is the case, I should spare no resources to find it. A weapon that can banish a god is an invaluable bargaining chip should the old ones decide to double-cross me. It is in their nature to try. But gods are predictable, and I can rely on that to always be one step ahead. Emperor Isengrim III, Secret Journal. Have I read this note already? Feels familiar. Ooh, another purple door. Yeah. These purple doors seem to be ones that give me the
When he was
most
still
loot.
a thief, Renato had always been attracted to the women with the biggest chests. No, that's not what I meant. To rob, I mean.
He's only in it for the booty.
The right jewel could
More
really
energy on
give
kill.
you an
Perfect.
edge. The wrong, well, it still looked pretty, didn't it?
Back to here. Nice.
Renato pulled the corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
Not else. I've gone down both paths. Maybe this one will connect me to something I've never
This would be
seen.
the perfect place for a tic-tac-toe board.
Or just to somewhere I've already walked to. Do I only have one path forward then? Guess that answers that question.
These things really slice like
Ow!
ham.
Well, those things do a lot of damage. Yes, I shouldn't just be completely ignoring them. Please use the hook shot. Does that also take my stamina? Is that why I'm not haven't been able to shoot it? It does.
Puzzle. Renato loved puzzles. Except when he couldn't figure them out. On the other hand, if there was a puzzle, it was probably meant to keep people away from something good.
I can open that from the backside. Please grab the shield. Ow.
Touche, he said, and died.
I'm doing terribly.
Not everyone knew how to use
Yay,
magic.
more treasure hunter.
Of course.
Oh, I
Not
don't think
everyone
I've been
had
over here
magical
before.
gem gauntlets like he did.
Nope, pretty sure I haven't been here yet. Even more stamina. I might need it with all of the shields I keep failing to break. Maybe just more HP. All stats are boring, but they're effective.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of.
And honestly, the rest of the upgrades at this point just seem like
The device
extra
was
damage.
intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart, a core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
Alright, well, continue putting this together and then just try to make different decisions once we
He'd
tap it.
sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature.
Yeah, good,
The
fuck him.
armature was useless by itself, only a series of coils and wheels. War demanded sacrifices, and he would make more before the end. He would have to choose the greatest good no matter how much it cost him. Zenobia. Well, he would see her sooner or later, across a battlefield or a sword's point before all this was over. He was sure of that. The power was in the core. Obviously, he had to get the core.
He looked up at the old trees around him. They were so big, so old. They'd been there before he was born.
Yes, I have my auto
And
damage
they'd be
again.
there after he'd passed into legend. Was he confronting his own unimportance? What had got into him? He was no philosopher. Anyway, who cares? He was plenty important. He was a hero. And soon he'd prove it.
Right, a well. Did I jump down that last time? It's my first run, so I can't remember now. Maybe? Yeah, I think so. Let's find out what's over this way instead.
You never knew where the road would take you, thought Renato.
Dear Zenobia, the director of the Academy has told me how much he was impressed by your academic performance and leadership. Somehow, I doubt this was a session of bootlicking. I have seen plenty of those. That old toad is sincere. I'm proud of you, my daughter. You will make a fine empress one day. On my end, great news. Professor Calaveras has been studying the Nexus and has made a bold observation. That toad is a true genius. You know how that island is unique, constantly changing, new crystalline formations appearing, island fragments merging, splitting, slowly drifting, held together by some invisible threads. Yeah, we've read this one before. Yeah, Hive Mind Island. Okay.
Say hi to gravity for me.
Yay, more treasure hunter.
Here, fishy.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
I can go this way, or I can go that way.
So that's what they meant by a firewall. What unlocks a firewall? You almost never saw wild gogglers together like this. The toads had to train them not to peck each other to death. So these had to be Imperial gogglers. That meant ravens were up ahead.
Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter which way I go. I'm eventually going to find everything.
That had gone beautifully. Where was a bard when you needed one?
Oh, but I have been this way before. More armor.
There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest. The mice and rabbits. Where had they gone?
Getting
was getting
pretty
hungry
close
too.
to
This
full
was an
weapon
unhealthy place
upgrades.
to be.
Renato, smash!
Damage. Did that not have a gem in there for me? Oh. You and I are both tired this week, it looks like.
The thing about puzzles was, once you solved one, you knew how to solve it again. Puzzles had no, what was the word? Replayability? Renato wondered if you could design a puzzle that would be different every time you played with it. Wouldn't that be fun?
And away we go. You got that 3 a.m. depression, cleaning and doing dishes and such.
Physically sick. Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark art, and
Last time I did that, I got yelled at.
Saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the armature. The wheels began to spin, then glow. The sick feeling quickly spun away. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends for this war apparatus.
Maybe Lapino wasn't such a good friend.
Yeah, that made him
Or
feel
anxiety,
better.
not necessarily
He carried
depression.
his prize back to the Farfarer. Now, he had to make his next move. There was a key
Unless your
Imperial
schedule is
Nexus.
actually that
If
backed
this
up, in which
really
case,
was
like,
some
go
sort of
to
super
bed,
weapon,
soak those
he could
dishes,
use
they'll
it
be
to
there in the
wreak
morning.
Havoc on the enemy. And if it wasn't, well, better to know that before the final battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it.
What are you doing that you got dishes at 3 a.m., man? Seek help from the scientists. The Skyriver was complete. The super weapon could put an end to the Emperor's madness, but had Renato assembled it correctly? Would it work at the critical moment? Scientists in the Nexus would surely give answers. Right, my first run I just kept using bottom options, like, it'll be fine, I don't want anybody's help. Let's get the Toad's help.
Well, of course. If you've just assembled a weapon out of legend that can exile gods from the world, you'd want to have a scientist or two look at it. And even if they disagreed and he had time, he could ask Calaveras himself. Yes, the observatory would be his objective.
This feels like it'll result in the same thing, though. Zenobia is just gonna freeze us,
Why
and
had
the
parts
heat
of
death of the
Skyriver
universe is gonna
only
be what takes
surfaced
us
now?
out.
Thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had dismantled it, the mad Emperor Isengrim had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Was that why these ancient artifacts were rising out of the ground?
Oh,
How perfect,
yeah, I
then,
definitely
that the
appreciate having a
Skyriver would
dishwasher.
reappear to be his destruction.
Those super stubborn stains and grime and such just require lots of soaking and elbow grease unless you have a machine to do it at a super high temperature over like an hour. I believe this was a dead end.
What else could you hook?
Wait, what about the other door?
The new pathway made Renato curious.
Also, the Skyripper is presumably doing something, but I'm feeling its effects a lot less this time around. Result of just instant killing everything, I suppose.
Brilliant. Lovely. Hold up, hose.
Probably read this? Yes. Break, please.
A legendary weapon was exactly what the rebellion needed. They were outnumbered. The once kind emperor had become a tyrant. But his ravens stayed loyal, for he fed them his victims, and the other animals were too frightened to rebel. Renato shuddered at what the emperor was trying to do. To bring back the lost gods, the Black Harvest, the Black Sun? No. He would stop that toad, no matter what the risk.
Where does that Black Harvest stuff come from anyway? Because I see that in a couple of different sources of media, and it seems it's just like warlocks who don't want to be called covens because that's associated with witches.
Of the Empire's most renowned scientists, working by themselves without interference. At least, so far.
Level 3 on all these. Is 3 maybe as high as they go? 5% sword energy. 3% loot. Honestly, I'm not sure how much Treasure Hunter is actually helping me. The only treasure I'm really looking for is from chests, so I guess I could swap this out now. 40% physical resistance. Or elemental resistance. Physical. Ooh, or damage. Yeah, there we go. Crit chance, attack speed, and energy. Oh, missed on that one again. What route I have to take to get over there?
This really didn't have much in the way of safety features, did it?
Ow! God, there's like nothing I can do about that. Oh no, what you gonna do? Yeah, you really can't do anything without your friends, can you?
That was fun. Let's do this again sometime.
Renato was thrilled. The scientists seemed to think he'd put the Sky Ripper together right. But one toad was worried.
Yeah, Sky Ripper could tear a hole in existence itself. There are invisible strings that tie the universe together. If Sky Ripper cut one, the hole would widen and widen till our whole existence fell into it.
Another toad sighed. Irving still believes in string theory.
At least go see Calaveras.
Yeah, said the worried toad.
He knows more than anyone else has forgotten about the Transcendent Emperor.
This is like an advancement on string theory that was like...
Use this weapon safely. It will be Calaveras. It was he who had told Renato how to
God.
find it in the first place. But maybe he had to give up on
Combination
using it
of
as a
both
weapon.
strings and
Maybe he had to go to the secret rebel base and ask the generals there what
energy
to do with
or,
a weapon that he
or
dared not
waves
use.
or something. Calaveras, he would know. So the Sky Ripper could destroy the existence itself. If there was the slightest chance that was true, Calaveras, the High Sage, was the final authority in legendary artifacts. If anyone could dispel Renardo's doubts, it would be him. Or how do you use a weapon you can't use? Renardo had to assume the worst and not use the Sky Ripper. Maybe he should bring it to the rebel base. Maybe there's a way to use the super weapon without using it. I mean, the thing itself can still do minor amounts of damage. That's useful. Let's go talk to the frog.
Well, he should have known he'd have to consult Calaveras again. The scientists at the observatory were smart enough. But what did they know of the Transcendent?
Why'd I even bother,
He hoped it
like,
wouldn't
waste
delay
my
him too
time with the
long.
frogs if
The rebels had scheduled
Calaveras
the
is the
final
final
battle soon.
authority on matters?
Every day they delayed risked the exposure.
I'm gonna get
of
a
the
second
secret
opinion.
base. And some soldiers were already drifting back to their
Cool,
homes
sounds
and
like you're
families.
pretty
Calaveras
hard set
would
on that.
fix
Why'd
the
you even
Sky
get the
Ripper for
first?
him. And then he would win the final battle.
Maybe it was the cold. But after a few steps, Renado's optimism started to slump.
What if Calaveras couldn't help? Did Renato dare use the Sky Ripper? Oh, he hated that he had chosen this path. It was so much simpler to rescue friends and attack enemies, even if some of those friends were more trouble than his enemies. Some of those enemies had been friends before and might be lovers after. No, okay, it wasn't all that much simpler. No. Physics made his brain hurt. That, at least he was sure of. Ooh, Renato loved to improve
Oh,
his
I can
gear.
upgrade my sword. Is there a spot over here that I could do that? There is. We have a fully customized armory. Nice. So I guess all I need now are gems and levels. Have I seen an altar in a while? What level am I? Can I even view that?
There was an inscription on the platform. Balaleka lessons, with an address.
Which way? I think I've taken the blue door. I'm not sure if I've taken either of these platforms yet. Easy.
He tried to focus on the now. The ravens who seemed everywhere all the time. Where did they hatch from? Were there giant raven hatcheries somewhere, or did they have families? Ooh, he didn't want to think about raven mummies raising their darling raven chicks. Yeah, Calveras would have it. He would make Renato feel better about using the Sky Reaper. And then Renato wouldn't have to worry about ravens ever again. In a swirl of newly remembered knowledge. He needed to focus.
No, this way. I see a purple door that I'm almost certain I haven't been through.
Okay, let's get this over with, and we can all go home. Well, not you, just me.
Where's my loot? I guess, yeah, we're just like fully leveled up. Don't need anything besides actual physical levels now. Like the only thing that those serve me now is to, yeah, maybe get some energy or health. Yet I can't stop myself from breaking everything. Because there is health in there. Darn. Having a fun time there, Renardo.
The rebels were counting on Renato. He hoped Calaveras knew what he was doing.
It's gonna come in handy now. It's not gonna do nothing later. Now this is the one that's probably going to get me the best benefit. Or... there was one for... I don't think there was one for just regular attacking through enemy shields. No. More stamina. Hello, Frogman.
Calaveras had never let him down.
Yeah, of course I can make it work better.
But when Renato explained about the strings, Calaveras grew thoughtful.
Oh, strings, you say? Well, the Arcana do speak of the ties that bind the world.
He drew many intricate symbols in the dirt.
Yeah, so, according to my calculations, each time you fire, I'm afraid there's a 1 in 120 chance you'll destroy the universe.
That's pretty good odds. That's like rolling, what, 21 dice and they all come up 6. What are the odds of that?
What? No! It's more like 2.716s in a row.
Anyway, with those odds, it'll happen if I use it just once.
Yeah, that's not right. Each time you use it... Okay, look, just don't use it ever.
All right, I guess.
As he sailed away from the mountains, Renato could see clouds darkening. Rain? No. Ships. Imperial ships, swarming thick as bees.
This was it. The big battle. They could not afford to lose this one. What if it did not go well? What if he had to use the Sky Ripper? Could he gamble the universe?
1 in 128, I like those odds.
What were the odds of rolling 21 sixes in a row? The battle was not going spectacularly well. What had the rebels been thinking? They'd been thinking he would bring the Sky Ripper, or the Iblastone, or that he'd sideline Zenobia somehow, or turn her. Couldn't he use the Sky Ripper just once? After all,
It's
if chances were 1 in
one
128,
time.
that meant he'd for sure be okay the first
Oh
time.
yeah, I guess I'm just
They'd
moving
get
along.
worse each
Don't
time
need
he
loot.
used it, but the first time would be okay, right? He wasn't
Surely
sure
it'll be
that it was
fine.
right. So he didn't fire the Sky Ripper. He just brought it along, in case. Where did that go to?
Have I not been this way? Might have been a shortcut. I do not believe this was a shortcut, though.
Ooh, sparkly, thought Renato.
Yeah, it's right there. Why not? Maybe there is more for me to
I wonder
find.
what happens if I go that way?
Or not. Fight, protect, succeed. Never forget that you are fighting for. Never forget what you are fighting for. The Empire brings peace, prosperity, and stability to the islands. Before my grandfather brought unity, it was each animal for himself. The strong would eat the weak. That was the only law. The rebels would destroy our great empire. They spread lies about justice and equality and pretend that power can be shared. But justice and equality can only be achieved through an iron hand. To harshly punish crime until there is no crime. To control everyone's wealth until there is no more greed. To crush every voice of dissent until there is harmony. Sounds pretty totalitarian. These principles are the pillars that I have set for our empire. The alternative is to return to Barbary. You must fight for your empire. You must protect its values. You are the first and last line of defense against darkness. You cannot succeed. You cannot fail. Fight, protect, succeed. Emperor Isengram. Manifesto. Yeah, you probably shouldn't use such an unattractive word as manifesto. It's going to make people feel bad. Is there going to be a boat with an actual passage? There we go. A little further. Come on. There you go. That's very tight.
Someone had told him the odds didn't change just because you'd had a streak of good luck. His gut told him that was wrong, though. And he always listened to his gut. On the other hand, 128 chances to win. But one of them would destroy the universe. Ooh, that seemed a bit serious.
More like every time you shoot that gun, there are 128 possible realities that are brought into existence, and one of them is not brought in. I wonder what those actual odds are based off of. What is that like?
Imagine if you built a house on one of these things.
Rolling 12 on 2d12s?
It would be like having a boat.
Almost there. Oh god, so many boxes.
He set up the Sky Ripper and let it warm up. He would bluff if he had to. Zenobia came out, flanked by a very daunting platoon of ravens. You won't actually use that, she said in that annoying
I know everything because I'm a cat, and you know nothing because you're just a fox, voice she had.
No,
I
don't
know
tempt
the
me.
odds. Good. Because there's a real chance you could destroy the universe. No, not the first time I use it. The odds are too low. What? No? Yeah, sure. The first time, the odds are practically nothing. They only go up if I use it a bunch more times. No, but that's not how odds work.
I mean,
Didn't you pay attention in class?
you roll the
Surrender,
dice
or I'll use it.
10 times, and there is a progressively larger chance that you would roll
You
it
have to go with his gut.
on the,
That's what heroes do.
like, the 10th time.
Fire, he said. Please? The Skyripper fired. With a tremendous whoosh.
No, let me
The
correct
Emperor's
that. There's a
flagship
progressively higher chance that you would
was
roll it
awesome.
by the 10th time.
Then he noticed.
There was a hole in the air. A blackness, like a tear in a parchment. Wind was blowing into it, widening it. It grew larger, and even larger. Crates fell upwards into it, and the world itself seemed bent, like the reflection on a curved mirror, as it poured into the ravenous hole. Ah, 1 in 128. What are the odds? Thought Renardo.
You know,
And
gamble and
everything
lose, that's
fell into
life.
the hole and was gone.
I mean, surely if I were to do it again, that, like,
Maybe there were new
I wouldn't get the
paths
same
that
result, right?
like those doors he was opening up all over the map that took him to new treasures.
A hero who
and
is willing
around
to
his
risk
enemies.
space, time, the
he
universe, and everything if the
another
odds are in his
treasure.
favor.
The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
Skyripper core is unstable. Well, I got 2 levels for that. And a revelation. What have I learned? Lapino is a traitor. Zenobia has feelings for Renardo. The Elis Stone corrupts anyone who uses it. And the Skyripper is unstable. Which means...
The book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again.
Ah,
Faster
no.
than before,
Darn.
and he
That
fell.
was gonna get me,
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas.
some sort of
It was time
ultimate
to
truth.
choose.
Darn.
The rebellion was in trouble.
Alright, well, we will resume this in a few minutes. I need to get up and stretch and go to the washroom, and I would advise you do the same. Not good to sit for so long and getting the jumpy leg. Alright, back in a few. And we are back.
Ravens are scouting for the secret
All
rebel
right.
base.
Can probably squeeze
They needed a
in
game
one
changer.
more of these
Pieces
runs.
of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renata knew
It
that
seems like
using it
these,
could go catastrophically wrong.
These take a lot longer to
He was sure
replay
he'd figure
through
out
than I
how to use it
would have
safely.
expected.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden
Now that I'm
there.
fully upgraded, though, I should be able
was
to
a dangerous
speed through these a
artifact.
bit faster.
It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without...
But I gotta
succumbing
be up
to
early
its
tomorrow,
wickedness.
so better not
And
chance it.
also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Well, there's a super big icon over there that I should maybe check out. Yeah, let's go help Lapino.
Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause. And maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Oh. New revelation. Renato could use that somehow. What to do with the knowledge about Lapino's treason? Renato would be foolish to trust Lapino again. He should confront him, or better yet, find a way to use the traitor against his new master, the Emperor. Maybe Lapino could be a game changer after all.
Renato
Sure, let's go
couldn't
save him.
quite put his paw
Or
on when he
let's go
realized
work
Lapino
with
was
him.
working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lapino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames.
He's got that
If
rabbit,
Renato could
lucky
prevent
rabbit's foot,
Lapino
don't you
from
know?
Getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip. How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs. He'd always felt that the rabbit resented him. Lapino was hilarious because he was so down on himself and everyone else.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been out this way.
Behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper. Oh, was this payback? Or did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice?
Nothing? Really? Oh, how about this way? Some of these objects are so hard to hit. Sure.
Oops. Thought Renato.
Yeah, alright, nothing over here. Worth my time, anyway. been a really long time since I was here, so almost certainly didn't have the fire sword to
The
go
road
through
less
this
traveled,
area.
thought Renato. How intriguing.
It's a very disappointing jest. More stamina.
Cool.
There we go.
Wish I
Maxed
could
out.
do
6
that.
pieces. Oh, do we have more? This could maybe save me. Where the heck am I going?
Renato hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them.
Oh, the well. I just took this almost immediately the first time, I think. But it was necessary.
Oh, hey. There's little red spots on your feathers. Oh, wait. Not yet. Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, the rabbit would give the Empire all the intelligence he'd been stealing from the rebellion, and they'd
Okay.
probably give him a medal. He'd have to be very careful about how he played Lapino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit would take off like a... well, a rabbit. The worst thing about ravens was they never dropped any loot, and no one ever wanted the feathers.
Hey, Lapino,
Bloody and
you
exhausted,
rat bastard.
Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was, there were a few things about him that Renato didn't find so amusing anymore. You sent me an urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am. The ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Renato wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Renato was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky Ripper was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might blow himself and his fleet up with it. Yes, that was it.
And give him the thing that's got only a 1 in 128 chance of failing? Oh, I guess that'd be the completed version. I don't know what just this thing would do by itself. I haven't tried that yet. But I'd rather see him get his comeuppance. Denounce the traitor. Renato realized how good an actor Lapino was. No surprise he has been fooled by that traitor. Maybe he should denounce the rabbit here and now, put an end to his schemes and get some payback. Or maybe he could give that smug traitor the location of the Sky Ripper's core, and while Lapino delivers the unstable weapon to the enemy, Renato would pay Zenobia a visit. Get him out of here.
Me? A traitor. I'm hurt, said Lupino. Why ever would you say that?
We found your code book, said Renato. They hadn't, but he hoped Lupino would blow his cover.
You got me,
said Lupino.
and you know what? I don't regret a thing. It's always about you, isn't it? You're the pretty hero. You get the girl, you get the medal, and what do I get? Rabbit food.
Well, she's my childhood
I thought
friend. You
liked
can have the
rabbit
medal.
Food,
Go to hell.
said Lupino, and he made a gesture, and 20 ravens came out of nowhere and stabbed Renato to death. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
All right, well, take two.
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lupino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lupino from at least 2 lynch mobs. But he'd always felt that the rabbit resented him. Lupino was hilarious because
Yeah,
he was
if I
so
know where to
down
go,
on
this should be
himself
pretty
and
quick.
everyone else. But behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper. Ooh, was this payback? Or did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice? Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, the rabbit would give the Empire all the intelligence he'd been stealing from the rebellion, and they'd probably give him a medal. He'd have to be very careful about how he played Lupino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit would take off like a rabbit. Bloody and exhausted, Renato finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck.
Oh, I am. The ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia.
Renato wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it."
And then I'll die.
But if there was one thing Renato was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky Ripper was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's
Also, do you really think
hand,
20 ravens should be
old
enough to
Lysander
kill
III might blow
Renato?
himself and his fleet up with it.
Just freeze them all.
That was it.
But I guess we should work together.
Renato felt like a real hero, brave and smart. He told the rabbit all about the Sky Ripper's God's Eye core.
I'll go get the core while you attack Zenobia.
He told the rabbit,
Oh, wait, I've an even better idea. I'll get the core, and you attack Zenobia.
said the rabbit. Right, yeah, that is better, agreed Renato. Perfect. The traitor would make sure the Emperor got the core. Now Renato just needed the Emperor to use the core. If he could only get something that the Emperor wanted very badly. Zenobia. He could save her and bait the Emperor at the same time. Right. Now, all Renato had to do was
Clever
fight his
fox,
way through
ground
Zenobia's main
hogging your
troops,
day to
sneak onto
victory.
her ship and into her bedroom and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her.
Then, he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up.
It did sound a little risky. But Renato had a feeling it would work out somehow. It always did.
Eventually. I swear I'm using my powers on average more often than I receive them, but like when's the hitbox? Is it a pulse from me? Or is it when I attack? It kind of feels like it decides to swap sometimes.
What's behind door number 2?
Big bunch of nothing.
Have you ever felt you were just going round in circles?
Ooh, I don't think I've gone down
Bernardo
here
felt
yet.
like that.
Yeah, this looks different. Wow, I didn't see it.
Boy, if looks could kill.
Ow. Yeah, those guys are really painful if I'm not paying attention.
Bernardo was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and
You
distraught.
found the object already?
Jumped us. I barely got away.
Oh, they got the core.
Oh, it was all going according to plan, thought Renato. Now he just needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone. Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her. That's
Yeah.
it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor.
Is that
He would try to make himself
is that how that works? Or would
The
he just
Emperor
give in
would have to
further into
defend
evil
himself.
desires? Like,
with the core.
once the Emperor has defeated the
He was a secret
resistance, then
genius.
I will rise up. Well, it certainly seems safer than sending Zenobia.
This is terrible, Renato told the rabbit. If only I had gone for the Iblis Stone. But now it's lost in enemy territory. He handed Lapino a map. It gives the bearer so much power. We can only hope the Emperor never finds it. What was that? Said Lapino. I think someone's following us. I didn't hear anything. Rabbit ears. You go on ahead. I'll check it out. And with that, Lapino hopped off with the map.
It's a damn good thing he thinks so lowly of us, because Renato is a terrible actor. I've read that already, but just want to make sure. Never be too careful. Yep, this is the Emperor's, I guess, apology to his daughter? No, it's more so his resolve.
Come on. One fox, no waiting.
I hit him twice. Should be just up here. Or not. Guess I'm just taking the boat.
Slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. She was curled up on her bed. He'd forgotten how beautiful she was, how sleek, how soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She was made of smoke, and he noticed he had a very solid blade to his throat. Did you really think you could capture me? Heard a familiar voice. I just wanted to chat, said Renato. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He needs a sacrifice, someone who truly loves him, to make a bargain with the lost gods. That's a vicious lie. He wants to bring them back.
I can go back
That's
like
crazy.
2
Why would
rooms
anyone
and grab you
make him
his
immortal?
journal that tells you
Eater
this.
of souls. And with that, her eyes widened. She understood. Renato told her how he had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred, how he had slept in a burnt village. At midnight, the Emperor's victims had come to him in his dreams to tell him of the hideous eldritch rituals they'd been sacrificed in. He could still see those kittens and puppies, their wide, sad eyes, their moist noses. You can't prove that. I've got a witness at the observatory. He couldn't tell her, not yet, why he was really here. He didn't want her to be anywhere near the fleet when her father blew himself and Lupino up. So he told her about how the Emperor's obscene rituals had raised ancient artifacts out of the land. How he'd followed the appalling trail of the hideous horrors His Majesty had perpetrated for the sake of his own immortality. Any of this ring a bell? He said. He told me it was all lies. You've always known when I was lying. I always hated that about you, said Renato. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
It's a shame I wasn't able to find any healing items along the way. but okay.
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you join in? No. I'd destroy his books and I'd... Okay, you're not completely wrong. They've resurrected one of his victims. Well, look, I mean, look, it's not exactly alive, but it can talk.
This
A true
Renardo
witness,
feels entirely
she
different
said.
from the other ones we've seen crash and burn. Oh, you were gone for a while there. Were you washing dishes? Nah, it's too early for that. Now, did you do that for another 3 hours?
This is quite the view, he thought.
Goddamn freezing birds.
Renata was surprised that he didn't feel more pain. Just a bit dizzy. Ooh.
Alright, well, settle in. We're working our last run for the night, and then I'm also probably gonna hit the hay.
The observatory was a burning hulk.
Yeah,
Dead
PC brand
scientists and
cola's
black
pretty good.
feathers The ravens had taken
I'm
special
disappointed
care
that they
to
don't make
burn
like the
reanimated
PC brand
witnesses'
Pepsi
cinders.
anymore, because that was my
Zenobia
jam.
stared at the carnage.
I
He
find
didn't want to hear the
Coca-Cola
witness,
just
did he?
way
Guess not.
too
What's your plan?
caramelly,
She asked.
artificial,
So, Renato explained
chemically
his
sweet.
brilliant gambit. Sending Lapino to get the Iblis stone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him.
I don't know,
thus
Pepsi is fine, I
blowing up both of
suppose.
them, and hopefully the fleet
But the
too.
PC brands
Let me
were,
visit your council, she said, shaken.
for one, cheap,
to
and for
help.
two, like,
Could he really
fairly
trust
mild.
her?
Trust her and take her to the secret base. Renardo's plan worked. Zenobia was now convinced her father was mad and had to be stopped, but it seemed too easy. Did he really convince her, or was she playing him like a fiddle? Why hesitate now? He should tell her the exact location of the secret base and meet her there. Or tell her where the secret base was, not so much. He should lie about the location of the secret base just to be safe. Oh, does Safeway still carry that? Well, now you're sowing doubts in my head.
She said she had an errand to run, so they met up sometime later in the mountains. She seemed different. It seems she'd gone and knocked Lapino out with drowsy gas and taken the Iblis stone from him. Whoa, what? No, that wasn't a plan. I know. Your plan was terrible.
Yeah.
Where's the council? Couldn't we just go somewhere? Quiet, Talk this over? You lying son of a bitch. They're not here. The sword was bloody. I told you the truth. Well, mostly. I'm going to kill my father now. But first, I'm gonna kill you.
Ah,
And
damn.
That's exactly what she did. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
Trust Lupino, I die. Lie to Zenobia, I die.
He couldn't
Guess
tell
I should swap that.
this. Could be the new aerobics craze. Am I right? The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you join in?
Ooh, black cherry.
No.
It's also
I'd
nice.
destroy his books and I'd...
Although the days of drinking soda are kind of behind me. I do keep my fridge stocked a little bit of it, but it's mostly
Well, I mean, look, it's not
water and
exactly
beer
alive,
now.
but it can talk. A true witness, she said.
If I want my caffeine fix, I'll just have a coffee. Or more specifically, a latte. Just never really cared for sweet
This
things,
was
and
definitely
as I grow
better than
older,
pouring yourself out
I
of a bucket.
get like even less and less of a craving for sweet things. I missed! Oh god, what happened to him? Frogs!
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared at the carnage. He didn't want me to hear the witness, did he? I guess not. What's your plan? She asked. So, Renato explained his brilliant gambit. sending Lapino to get the Iblis Stone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully the fleet too. Let me visit your council, she said, shaken. I want to help. Could he really?
Okay, now
trust
don't get
him?
the Iblis Stone for yourself, because I did just tell you that it's going to corrupt anybody who it touches, and...
He'd done it. He'd made Zenobia see how evil her father really was. He wished she didn't feel this urge to join in the rebellion. After all, he'd taken care of the Emperor, right? Yeah, but she'd always been conscientious like that. She told him she had to go somewhere first. So Renato gave her the location of the secret base, and they agreed to meet in the ruins. He had a very good feeling about this.
Hope it pays off.
What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council? Had he made a mistake, sending her to the ruins? No. He knew they could trust her. He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well
Over
before him.
here.
She at least didn't have to fight her way to
That's been actual
rainstorms of
progress.
ravens.
Ow! Why didn't I see a zone for you?
He missed her. Not Zenobia. Hypatia, the kid's mother. Renato had never thought he'd date a librarian. He'd always figured himself for the barmaid type. But then, he'd never figured the library of Ubar would have comic books, or that Hypatia would know anything about them. He missed her.
That toss. This way?
Renato wondered if it wasn't cheaper to build bridges and stairs.
Well, this is cooler. Okay, this way then, I guess.
As he came around the bend, there was Lapino, unconscious on the side of the path.
Oh no.
Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis Stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it.
It is going very bad, very fast. Aw,
eyes
he got
good.
me first.
One eye, dead. Long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. This was what it was like to die. Not nearly as much fun as they said.
Feels like they're attacking a lot faster. Guess I should just be using more throws.
Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
Get out of her way! Zenobia has the Iblis Stone. Now she was strong enough to defeat the Emperor, but the stone would consume her soul. Trying to stop her would likely be fatal, so it was best to just let her go and see how things play out. Or stop her in the Iblis Stone. Trying to stop her would likely be fatal, but the feelings she had for him had to mean something, right? He had to try. Maybe... Maybe you'll find an opportunity later.
Sail off. A few days later,
Nope.
the sun dimmed. A great void opened in the sky. Black as the Iblis Stone itself. It stretched and ripped like a vast fatal womb. And a gaze black and pitiless as the sun
So that's
passed
what
through
that
the
looks
void
like from
into
the
land.
outside.
And so the lost god Iblis once again came into his own. And time stopped. He had tried something
Fave
bold
Pop?
and paid the price for it.
I want to say Dr. Pepper?
What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council?
I know I really
He
used to
made a
like
mistake,
Fresca,
sending
but
her to the
that's
ruins.
since changed, and I think that was because they changed the
He knew
recipe.
They could trust each other. He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him
Do I
because
have any
she'd
other
see right through him.
favorites?
Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens. He thought about Hypatia. Oh, she'd been an amazing rabbit. She could talk to him about comics and talk to her son about history and battles and talk to scholars about the ancient tomes.
I'm not sure if I can include fountain drinks, but anytime you go to one of those like newer fountain machines that allows you to flavor blast stuff with like strawberry or raspberry, that that good. Like a strawberry or a raspberry lemonade.
Look, it's not personal, but your mother wears army boots on her ears.
Once again, pretty weird layout. Send the support all alone. Oh, one more upgrade. Kick and throw distance increased, and I'm 2 away from getting that. Maybe more of a buffer. Nah, let's get stuff.
Haven't you always wanted to do that?
It's just got a very particular flavor profile. Dr. Pibb, or Mr. Pibb, or whatever it is pretty close, and a fine alternative if I'm somewhere that doesn't have it. I don't
As
know.
he came
I feel
around
like
the
there's just
bend,
nothing quite
there was
like
Lapino,
Dr. Pepper.
unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsiness.
Oh, and Bark's root beer I've
She had the
always been
Iblis stone.
particular for.
What would it do to her?
If I can get A&W at the restaurant in a nice frosty mug, that is better. But I wonder how much better it would be to just get like nice Bark's root beer on tap in a frosty mug.
Ha! Bet you never saw that coming. The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
I used... There we go. Yeah, I really should go to Dollarama more often. I am surprised at how cheap things are there. I wandered around that store for like an hour looking for
Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia
Christmas
stood shivering in the courtyard.
gift exchange stuff. You know, just like a
Why?
silly, don't spend any more than $5, and that is not possible to do at a Dollarama. There was not a single thing in there that cost less than $5 before
Why did you take
tax.
it from Lapino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him.
Really?
Get out.
Canned A&W root beer?
Or I'll kill you too.
It's so... I don't know, man. I need the... like, syrup concentrate and soda water. Just so much better.
You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblis stone, yearning for his death. But she didn't strike. If you kill him, he'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up! She shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me, he said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him! I hate you too! I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was weeping. He was holding her. The sword had dropped from her hand. He glanced at the Iblis stone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No. It glowed like a cinder. It was
With the
crackling,
power of
burning, turning into
love.
ashes. You've always loved me, haven't you? She said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. Always, he said. She staggered as he helped her up.
Hey, is a $5 gift card still not $5 or
The
less?
island of
Before
Avalon.
tax.
The sisters will heal you. He'll follow us. Then we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire.
I'm always surprised at the type of things I can find at a Dollarama and think, really?
The Empire had seized
That's
the
it?
ship.
That's all you're charging?
They'd have to take it back.
Oh god, this route's going a little bit further. Well, we've dealt with the king, and everybody's still alive at this point. So what do we do from here? Are we like... I guess we're on the route to, like, maybe an actual good end.
The portal led right into the middle of the field. It was a glaring weakness in the defense. Zenobia was in no shape to fight, but he never fought so well.
Oh yeah, I was trying to say that I've never seen anything listed for more than $5 there.
His sword danced, his feet flew, and the ravens recoiled from his ferocity.
The area where they have tech, like computer peripherals, headphones and such, wireless phone chargers, all that stuff is pretty close to $5, but still doesn't go over.
It was his beautiful skycraft, the Farfarer. Though it fare very far indeed, beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the mystical island of Avalon. He didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning, laughed Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time.
Just on our honeymoon now?
Teach you how to fly.
All right, getting a little rough there. Hello? Oh, this way. Yeah, right. We're not going to fight the Emperor. We've already dealt with that, presumably, since she was holding him at knife point. Ow. Eh. Why did you attack twice? Why did you not throw? Curses. Oh my god, really? Ugh. Not the guy who's about to explode. Don't pull him to your face.
But they did not go unnoticed.
Glad that didn't
Starships
kill me.
lifted off, and the long lance of the Imperial flagship. Renato turned downwind to gain speed. The Raven ships could pursue, but they couldn't close. The Far Speaker croaked,
You return her and live.
"Go sacrifice yourself," yelled Renato.
Then you won't have her either.
On the flagship, the Emperor was readying some arcane weapon. It couldn't be. It was the core. A devastating beam lanced out of the flagship. Renato zigzagged wildly to keep the Farfair out.
You don't have the frame though, right? That's just embellishment.
And the beam was getting closer too. Then came a blinding flash.
Okay, good.
And the air was searingly hot all around him. There was a thunderous, deafening roar. He could smell burnt oak and burnt feathers and burnt flesh. But when he could hear and see again, they were alive and unhurt. And they were alone in the sky. Zenobia embraced him. They had done it. Through luck and through love, they had won the war. "Avalon, here we come," he said as he held her arms wide in the prow of the boat and let her feel its speed. Maybe the real Avalon is wherever we're together.
Oh god, no. Enough.
So, after
Enough with the memes.
Renato and Zenobia went to one of the two Avalons. The one shrouded in mists. Or the one in their hearts. But which one they went to, I'll never tell. He'd done it. He'd forged his own destiny. He
Yeah.
hadn't actually done it. But he knew what he would do. Renato smiled at the book. He practically wanted to kiss it. The kid's sacrifice hadn't been in vain. He'd saved the book and saved the world. Renato owed him and his mother so much. Renato lowered the mainsail and let the Farfarer shoot forward in the breeze. Second star to the right, and straight on till morning.
You made that one
This time,
already.
he would win.
Yeah. Guess I beat it. Alright, cool. Well. Yeah, that'll definitely be it for tonight, though, but, probably gonna come back to this and do some more runs, see if I can't complete the rest of that board over there. So I guess that's the true ending. Congratulations, hero path completed. Evil Stone and Skyripper always active. Oh. Wait, was the Evil Stone actually giving me a benefit? Am I doing more damage while I have it equipped? Alright, well, yeah, that will be it for the night. Thank you very much for stopping by. I may be here next Monday, but, it's a pretty good chance I'm going to be preoccupied. So if not, then I'll see you on Wednesday for, Earthbound, I think. Okay. With that, vote in poll, suggestions in box. Take care and good night.